Hi there, Aquarius. How are you guys doing? I really hope this video finds you well. Welcome to your 15th to 21st of August 2020 reading. Back with me again, Anisa from the Inner Stereo. For those of you who are in my channel, hello. And for those of you who have been here for a long time and have been patient enough, welcome back. So guys, we're going to be doing things like a little bit differently this time just because we're going to do a pick a card reading for your advice by the end of this reading, all right? Don't worry, we're also going to be doing the two people scenarios as well with the challenges. So let's talk now, Aquarius. By the way, this is for your Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus sign. And don't forget to check your Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus sign too. Because for me personally, I realized that with my readings, I resonate a lot more with my Venus sign rather than my Sun sign. I don't know why. And this is a general reading, so this reading may or may not resonate. And because this is a general reading, so the reading might also get reversed, all right? Oh la la, what have you done? So in the past, this person was the 10 of Wands and also the 8 of Swords. So they're carrying like a lot of energies from this relationship, you know what I mean? And it's kind of like been weighing them down. But you know, with that 8 of Swords in there, and especially by the behind it, you see the bull? You see the bull right here? I understand that this is like a swords type of card, but sometimes it kind of like reminds me of Taurus energy because Taurus are a bit they're like the bull, right? And one thing about fixed sign is that sometimes, and you guys are also a fixed sign, sometimes they are a little bit stubborn because they have this fixated intellectual standpoint that they're having. So they're being a little bit stubborn, and their stubbornness of whether or not they want to give in to you, or the stubbornness of how they think about you, or whatever that is, kind of like been weighing them down for quite a while. And they've been carrying the burden of this relationship for quite a while too, up to the point that maybe they could get a little bit either depressed, or it's hard for them to wake up in the morning feeling inspired, because 10 of Wands is like a little bit of a difficult type of energy, you know? Ten of Cups, well, because they're kind of like still clinging on to the idea that this relationship is very ideal for them emotionally as well. And they also starting to feel that you guys are, yeah, I mean, I think there's like a little bit of changes that's happening within you, and you feel the Wheel of Fortune. You know, Wheel of Fortune is Jupiterian type of quality. So you want to expand. You feel that this relationship has been limiting your expression or your freedom or yourself or what have you. And you kind of like, yeah, you know, like when things were good, it was good. Because you also have the 7 of Wands, and the 7 of Wands in this particular deck of mine is a bit different. Because, you know, 6 of Wands, after the feeling of being very, very victorious, after things are great and everything like that, you feel that, I don't know, there's something missing in here. There's something that I don't like about this relationship, and I kind of like want to change it. So yeah, and then because you guys changed, this person was confused, like what is going on here? You're not afraid of starting over again. You're not afraid of starting new again. For some of you, though, this type of attitude or this type of changes might also happen because there is an information that you just acquire, or you have an informant, like your friends telling you about something, or you've been learning about new things and you feel that, you know what, I think I need some changes in my life. But the changes that is happening for you, they don't really take it well. So now they are in the energy of 5 of Swords. So 5 of Swords is a bit harsh. See, 5 and 5. It's a bit harsh. Queen of Wands. Justice card. And you're like, you know, they have the 5 of Swords. So this might be like they might be very, very cut with you, or they might be very mean to you, or they might be a little bit distant from you because they're trying to make their point. Again, it's the 5 of Wands. The 5 of Wands in this particular deck of mine is a bit different because it's not so much of a disruption, but it's like trying to hit something, like 5 people trying to hit something with their, what do you call it? With their eyes closed, and it's like trying to find a scapegoat or trying to find something to hit just so that they could express their anger. So whatever it is that they're communicating is not really reaching its point. So it's like they're kind of like beating around the bush with their anger. You know what I mean? You know, the type of people who is so angry, but they won't get to the point of why they're angry, but they're doing a lot of things to show you that they're angry. You know what I mean? You know, something like that. You kind of like know what's up with them though, because you have the strength card. So you're being like a little bit patient, and you try as much as you could to not, because you have justice card here. So you try as much as you could to not invite in that energy back to you again. And you try not to overthink it again, because now you guys are like a lot stronger. You have the Queen of Wands. So your self-esteem is doing really, really great this week. Your self-worth is doing really great. You know you're the bomb. You know you're the ish. So you wouldn't be that pressed. And you know, for some of you who have been dealing with this person for quite a long time, this might be like, ah ha ha ha, now karma gets you, you know, something like that, because you got the justice card there. So it's like, oh wow, it's nice to see karma. So let's see what happens in the future. Ace of Cups from their side, Four of Cups, Three Wands, the Sun card, Knight of Pentacles. Let me clarify some things here. I see. Okay, so for those of you guys are dealing with one person, yeah, we're going to get to the two people scenarios after this. But if you guys are dealing with one person, what's going to happen in the future is that you guys are, like, for some reasons, you still care. Don't deny it. Don't lie to me. You still care, you know. You kind of like still worry, at least, what's up with them and everything like that. And there's going to be a certain point in time where you... I mean, but it's not like you miss them or you guys are depressed and you're regretting or things like that. No, it comes from a genuine place. It's actually coming from a really good place from you, because it's the Sun card. So you feel elevated. There's going to be a reason for you to feel very, very happy apart from this. Apart from this, there's going to be a reason for you guys to be happy and everything like that. So what happens is that it's either... So there's going to be a time, and I feel like for the majority of you, this person is going to start opening up again with the Ace of Cups. You know, they're done with beating around the bush with their angers and their mind games and everything like that. And they're going to come back with the Ace of Cups. So there's like a lot of emotions running in. So it's not just like a chit chat. It's not just like a... it's not just going to be a chit chat, but it's just going to be like, hey, I miss you, or, you know, something that lets you know about how they're feeling and how their emotions are. And you guys are going to feel good about that. I mean, you have the Sun card, so it's a good one. But the funny thing is that this person, because they still have like a lot of anger and they haven't had the time to communicate or express completely what has been bothering them all along, you know, what happens is that they pour their self out, and then once they get the answers that they've been looking for you, and then they're like the Four of Cups, you know, so they come in and they go. So it's like come in and then they go. But with this person, you are like the Knight of Pentacles. So Knight of Pentacles is that unwavering devotion and loyalty that you have towards this person. It's also like, you know, if you need any help, I will always be there for you. But so you just gotta call me, or you just gotta text me if you need help, then I will always be there for you. But I'm not gonna do things that is just like chasing after you or what have you. So that's for like the majority of you. And then to some of you though, I think like there's gonna be a point where you guys are gonna be celebrating something, and then you probably just had a day at a camp, like you're camping or you're spending like a lot of times in the sun, and then you feel so good about yourself, and then it's either you post something on social media or you literally reach out to them, and they're going to be feeling very, very happy, but then they're going to be withdrawn again because they still have like a lot of bottled up emotions that they're feeling deep down inside of them. But I don't think you'd be bothered though. I mean, you guys are not bothered in and now. You guys are not going to be bothered in the future because you're so busy of building yourself up. Because at the overall energy here, you also have the Nine of Wands. So it tells me that you are aware with the fact that you've been bending your spine backwards, maybe for this person or maybe from your past person, and then you've lost yourself along the way, and then you're just going to be focusing a lot on you a lot of times, and you're done waiting around for your return on investment. You just want to live. There's going to be like a lot of options available for you too in the now and also in the future. So that is it if you guys are dealing with one person. If you're only doing one person, your reading ends now. You probably could skip forward to, I'm going to put it in the descriptions, to the pick a card reading. And now we're going to move on to the two people scenario. Okay. Let me clarify something. Nah, nothing. Anyway, so person B is somebody who you have had like a lot of, like it was a relationship that lifted you up at some point, but you feel that you are kind of like quite tired about it. You feel that it's like a little bit fake, or it's like, I don't know, like there's just some reason for you that you feel you wanted to break free or break away from, and you're ready. You're ready to rebuild your life. You're ready to do everything, and this person just didn't really see that coming. They really didn't see that coming. They thought that you will always be who you were, and then when that changes come, they were like the Eight of Swords. So they were in a state of depression, and they kind of like think that they're kind of like in the right, and they're a bit stubborn about it. And then in the now, though, this person is again like you kind of like is like a little bit of a scapegoat. So every time they have like a conversation with their friends, it's like, what happened with your relationship with Aquarius? And they're going to be like, yeah, everything that is nothing and nothing that is everything. And most of the part of the stories that they're telling their friends is going to be, it was because of you. And to some of you, though, like this person might find troubles with you. I don't know how, but they would just find troubles with you, especially if you guys share kids together. Like they would just find troubles with you, and you're like the Justice card, so you don't take it seriously any longer. So in the future, again with this person, I think because of the history that both of you share with one another, you still have that. If you need me, I will always be there for you. You're a part of my life anyway. You still kind of like consider this friend as a friend, maybe not a friend that you could trust, but you still care. You still sometimes worry. Don't lie to me. And this person is like the Four of Cups, so they kind of like are going to withdraw themselves back and meditate, probably, or go into a religious or spiritual route to basically not be in this confused state all the time. So that is person B. Person A is somebody who, so with this person, they feel that you guys are a bit, sometimes you guys could be very hot, and the other times you could be very cold. So there's like a lot, you guys are ever changing, and that kind of like confuses them at some point. And again, but this person feel that they love you more than you love them. And so in the now, they're like a little bit frustrated, and they're like a little bit angry, and they're like, okay, you know what? I've given so much to Aquarius, and da 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 da. And if they don't want me, then they're building things up inside of their head. You guys are like the Strength card, though, so you guys are being very patient about it. You feel that if it's for me, then it will always be for me. Even if this person leave me, if it's for me, then it's going to return. So that's kind of like the whole idea of the whole thing. But in the future, I feel that you guys are going to be okay, though. But you're still much more focusing on yourself. But there's going to be like a good open communications happening between you and them in a way that, and now finally they understand why you guys are on and off, why you guys are hot and cold, because you're just focused on themselves, because you're focused a lot on yourself than relationship. With that type of open communications leads to both of you feel good about one another. So person A will finally understand, but again, it needs open and transparent communications from your part, okay? Because they're a bit frustrated right now because they feel that you guys are hot and cold. So pick a card. I've picked already 4 cards here. 1, 2, 3, and then 4. I'm going to give you like 15 seconds of silence so that you can concentrate on choosing. Okay, we're done. So if for those of you who chose card number 1, you have the South Node, and don't let your past hold you back. So what this tells me is, South Node is what we're comfortable with. South Node is the pattern that we're comfortable with. And it has nothing to do with your past person. It has nothing to do with your past lovers or what have you, but it has everything to do with how you were raised and the environment that you were in when you were raised or when you grew up. There is this study, psychological studies that shows that people who grow up in, for example, with the drug addict parents, will eventually have a relationship, best friend, friendship, or even a relationship with people who have addiction to something because it's a familiar pattern for them. You know what I mean? They don't need to adjust again. It's a familiar, it's something that is familiar. It's their comfort zone. So what this tells me is that maybe you have been wondering inside of your head about why do I keep attracting the same person over and over again? Why is it that it's the same story with a different person over and over again? You have to look back to the environment that you grow in. What type of narratives did you grow up in? You know what I mean? I'm gonna give you an example, and you might laugh at me because I'm making this person as an example, but look at Khloe Kardashian. Why is it that she has been in 2 marriages, I suppose, if I remember correctly, and those 2 men keep on cheating on her? Have you ever wondered about that? Well, the reason is because when she grew up, she kind of see herself as an ugly duckling. I'm not saying that she's ugly, but that's kind of the mentality that she lives in. And then she became very beautiful. And then she kind of have this program, I believe, revenge body workout. So it's a victim who then comes up as a winner. So that narrative is inside of her head. So every relationship or every man that she's attracted to, she kind of have it intuitively or subconsciously that, yep, with this man, I'm going to be the victim, but then I'm going to end up as a winner. So again, try to look back, way back in the environment that you grew up with, the relationship between your parents, your mother and your father, and everything like that. And that thing still kind of dictates how you live your life even until the now. All right. So that's for those of you who chose card number 1. And how about for those of you who chose card number 2, you have full moon in Gemini. The answers you need are coming. So every time people have this card, it tells me that there has been a lot of questions that is pondering inside of your head for quite a while, and those answers that you're seeking for is only a few conversation away. So if you really want to have that answers, all you got to do is converse with whoever it is that you're dealing with. But remember, it's a full moon in Gemini. So the way that you approach a situation or the way that you conversing with them should be in a Gemini way. So it's light, it's airy, it's communicative, it's talkative, it's that ping pong, it's very light. It's not that you come into that conversation accusing somebody of doing something. You're not going to get the answers that way. You need to converse with them in a very, very Gemini way. All right. So that for those of you who chose card number 2. How about for those of you who chose card number 3, you have a personal issue reaches resolution. So this tells me that you have been feeling things very intensely for quite a while, and it's bound to get even more intense. So there's going to be a period of time from 15th to 21st of August, or from whenever it is that you're watching this video until 7 days from now, where feelings or emotions are running extremely high. It's either from your side or it's either from their side. So you might feel very intensely or they might feel intensely. And with this, it's when they're feeling things very intensely, because they're not watching this video, obviously, they might pour out or they might explode or they might do things based off of their emotions. And how do you deal with that? Is that you just listen, because what they're saying, you can finally see the truth of how they say things. But if that's the other way around, if that's you who is going to reach that intense peak of emotions, then all you got to do is just kind of meditate and have a conversations with yourself. Why am I feeling this way? What is it about me that kind of like hinders me from getting what I want, or from getting the answers that I've been looking for? Or what is it about me that keeps on making me stuck in this situation? Like, have like more conversation with yourself, all right? Full moon in Cancer is kind of like ask us to have a lot more compassion with ourselves, being gentle with ourselves, not hating ourselves that much, and also being gentle with the other person. So that's it if you chose card number 3. How about if you chose card number 4? So you have emotions are running high, super moon. Yeah. So super moon is when there is a new moon or full moon that is the closest orbit to the earth. So the moon is very big, you know what I mean? And if you've been looking for answers all along about your relationship or whatever, it's always there. You've just been avoiding it. You don't need a tarot card. You don't need a psychic reader. You don't need a pick a card reading on YouTube to know the answers of your situations, because it has always been there. You just have been avoiding it, or you just chose not to see it. Like, for instance, if you've been trying to find answers about whether this person is good for me or not, and the answer is yes, but you've just been avoiding it because maybe you're a commitment phobe or whatever, then you can keep on searching everywhere, but it's just like the universe and God has been very, very kind for you to just give you that signals right there. And same goes if you've been wondering about whether this person is bad for you or not. Those signs are there. You're just choosing not to see. You're choosing not to accept the answers right in front of your eyes. All right. So I think that is it for my reading for you, Aquarius. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you find tons and tons of clarity that you've been looking for. And I really do hope that you have a great week ahead. All right. Bye-bye, guys. Have a great day. I love you.